I do realise that whilst I love this look, I look ridiculous wearing my glasses with this look, so I'm gonna do this video glassesless. So if we go out of focus at any point, I'm sorry, I can't see. But I am willing to do it so you can see this makeup look because look at how cute! Anyways, with all that out of the way, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Skye, and today we're doing a good old-fashioned episode of makeup that I want, but I'm not gonna buy. I asked on my Instagram stories of like what videos you'd like to see, and it became a tie between this video and a Get Ready With Me, so you're getting both. I'm not gonna lie, I want to put my hands up and say I'm dead proud of myself because I have not bought that much makeup recently. I've gotten some bits in PR, but I really haven't been buying a lot of makeup lately. Mainly because all of my money is going towards driving lessons, and Jesus Christ, they are expensive. Also, I'm just very happy with my collection. Like, I don't really feel the need to buy things. So I was really like combing through releases being like, what are things that I look at and I'm like, oh, that would be lovely if I owned it, but I just don't feel the need to buy them for one way or another. Now, piss and love, everything we're talking about is palettes. So, yeah. But yeah, I've got all the pictures on my phone, so if you see me glancing down, that's why. I'm also gonna shimmy on over so I can put the images here. I'm currently sitting literally on the edge of my seat because I've got Molly. I'm actually gonna show you. Molly! I've been sat on the edge of my seat like this for about 2 hours. My back hurts. Okay, the first palette that I want to discuss is the Linds and Blend Bunny collab palette. I think it's just called the Linds palette. This is a collab with one of my favorite content creators, Lindsay, Linds Makeup Looks on Instagram. I absolutely love her. Like, I've been following her for I think about a couple years now. I love this woman so much. She is literally just a weirdo, and I resonate so heavily with her. Like, genuinely, I'm like, I want to be your friend. In my head, we are friends. And she did a collaboration with Blend Bunny and Glisten Cosmetics where she made an eyeshadow palette and also a wet liner palette. Now, coincidentally, I did buy the wet liner palette and I've used it a shitload. I've used it a lot. I've used it today, actually. I really like this wet liner palette so much. This is the eyeshadow palette, and I really want it for a really silly reason because the pans are magnetized. Now, Blend Bunny have been doing more magnetic pans in their palettes, and the magnetic pans in here are the same size as these wet liners. So if I really wanted to, I'm like, oh, for travel, I can swap out like my wet liners into the eyeshadow palette. That would be smart. And also, piss and love, I'm not a big fan of the layout. I think because Blend Bunny palettes, to me, they all have the columns and like the rows, they're all organized by tone and all of that, and this is one of the few Blend Bunny palettes that isn't organized like that. I think the only other palette that's not organized like this is the Sickly Sweet palette, and because of that, it kind of fucks me off looking at it, but the fact that it's magnetized, I'm like, okay, that's perfect, that's fine, I can just rearrange it. However, looking at the colors, every time I look at them, I'm just like, I just don't need those colours. Like, I know that I don't need those colours. I could probably dupe this out completely with my collection. And it's annoying because I like the colours. I like Blend Bunny's formula a lot. They're one of my favourite eyeshadow formulas. I even used some Blend Bunny shades today. But I just know that I have colours like this, and I think you're gonna hear me say that a lot in this video. And also the fact that it's gonna be limited edition. Now, I could justify the wet liner palette because I knew that this is going to be so good in my collection because it comes with a mirror, has all of the shades. It's literally a one-stop shop and it's going to be so useful for me. However, with the eyeshadow palette, I don't always use the same eyeshadow palette for things. I like to rotate my eyeshadow palettes. Wet liners, I tend to use the same ones. So it just doesn't make sense to me to buy a palette with repetitive colours that I know that I'm not really going to give it the love that it deserves. And I'm trying to really keep my collection to things that I just love and things that I will give love and use. Because also, if there's stuff in my collection that doesn't get the love that it needs, I feel extremely guilty. I feel like a neglectful parent, and I can't be dealing with that. Like, come on. I know it's silly, but it's how I feel, and it's so deeply ingrained in me that it makes me ill. So yeah. That's why I don't want to buy this palette. Looking at all of the palettes that I've screenshotted, There's like a very strong theme with Colour Story. But let's stick with the Blend Bunny theme. This is the Longing palette. Now, oh my god, as soon as they like showed off this palette, I fell in love. Like, it's just gorgeous. It's the same format as the Lure palette, which I love. I love, love, love this palette. And so it being the same size, I'm like, that's perfect, because this is like the maximum amount of shades that I like in a palette. Any more than 24, I'm like, no, I can't do it. And it also looks like a cooler tone version of the All Done Up palette, which I, again, absolutely love. I love it. And now they've made the pans magnetized, which I'm so happy that Blend Bunny is doing. I think more brands should be doing it. And as much as I love the colours, they are just cool-toned, grungy, sophisticated slay. I can't justify buying it. Again, because I have similar colours in my collection, and I feel like a 24 pan palette of all of these colours, I just wouldn't use it enough. And it would make me neglect the other things that I have. Like, one of my new favourite cool tone palettes has the same vibe. It's the Timeless Tones by Glaminatrix. Like this, like, it's not the same as Longing, but like, I have this in my collection now. So like, why would I buy a palette that's gonna give off the same vibes? The shimmers look fucking gorgeous. Like that teal row and that purple, like muted purple row. Oh, and I love the greys. It's one of those palettes that, like, if I didn't have this visceral feeling of like leaving some palettes behind while I use other things, like if I didn't feel that way, I would totally buy this like straight away, especially now that the pans are magnetic. But I just know that mentally I would have that block. Let's move on to something a bit sillier, because I don't want to get like too repetitive with like my thoughts in this video. This is the Trixie Cosmetics and Teletubbies collection. Of course that Trixie Cosmetics would do a Teletubbies collection. Like, it just makes sense to me. Now, I was born in 2001. I grew up with the Teletubbies. I love the Teletubbies. Who's your favourite Teletubby? I think that says a lot about you. Mine's Tinky Winky. Tinky Winky is the cuntiest little dude. Tinky Winky and Lala were my favourites. Although I love Dipsy and Poe. I love all of them, but Tinky Winky, like, I feel strongly towards Tinky Winky. But the eyeshadow palette, it's really well done. Like, honestly, it's so well done. I love that the pans are little hearts. Normally I'm not a big fan of different pan shapes. Like, give me like circles, squares, sometimes rectangles, and I can deal with a triangle if it's nice. So normally I'm not a big fan of different pan shapes because I like to pop things out and use them with my other, like, single shadows. However, this is really cute. Like, I can make an exception for the Teletubbies palette. And in this photo that I'm looking at, the shimmers look really nice, but then when I've seen them swatched out, the shimmers look kind of dull. And every time I see, like, Trixie Cosmetics shimmers being, like, shown off in palettes, I hear good things about their mattes. Like, their matte formula sounds pretty good, but their shimmer formula just doesn't give to me. And I think I have very high standards with shimmers because, you know, I'm used to Glaminatrix, Terra Moons, more recent Blend Bunny shimmers, just a lot of different multi-chromes, Cleona, that sort of thing. So when I see a shimmer and it's just not as, like, reflective and duochromy and intense as I would like, I'm just like, well, that I can't see myself, like, using half of the palette. I think the only shimmers that actually look really intense are Twinkly and Giggleberry. It's just whimsical and fun, and I think more makeup needs to be whimsical and fun. The world needs more whimsy. Speaking of whimsy, we're sticking on with the Teletubbies collection, because I just have to talk about these. These are the eyeshadow, well, the brush set, because there's face brushes in there too. The handles have the little wibbly bibblies that the Teletubbies have. Teletubbies? Oh my goodness. The handles have the little knobs. They're not knobs. What are they called? Antennae. Antenna probably is what they're called. The wibbly bits on top of the Teletubbies heads are on the bottoms of these brushes, which practically horrendous for storage probably. Probably not that horrendous. I think Dipsy's one would be quite bad because it's just skinny. The colours are perfect. This is like perfect, like practical and whimsical. Like, come on. The only reason why I'm not going to be buying these is purely because Trixie Cosmetics is kind of hard to get in the UK. They do sell some on Beauty Bay, I think. I don't know if they do much anymore though, actually. but I'm not gonna place an order at Trixie Cosmetics just for a brush set. Like, to me that feels a little bit silly. That being said, did I buy 5 pairs of the Saint lashes from Blend Bunny when they restocked them? Yes, I did. However, those are like, I'm wearing them today. They are my ride or dies. I play favorites, okay, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, spending all that money on like shipping and customs and the cost of the brush set just doesn't seem worth it to me. However, if anybody has this brush set and they would like to send it over to me, that would be really nice. That would be really nice. I'll pay you, but that would be really nice. I really like these brushes. The next palette we're going to be discussing is from Glisten Cosmetics. This is the Smitten palette. I believe it's called Smitten. I love Glitten's formula. Again, one of the top shelf formulas in my collection. And I aesthetically love looking at this palette. And also, like, it's a Valentine's Day palette and it's called Smitten and it's like cat themed. Like, I fucking love cats. Like, who doesn't? If you don't like cats, try again. That's my advice. Try again. And looking at this palette, again, I love the arrangement of the shades. I aesthetically love looking at it. Practically wearing it, I don't think I would really get a lot of use out of it. Like, I do love the cool tones, but like, I don't really wear like purples all that often, and like hot pinks, I've got enough in my collection that like I don't need more hot pinks. The shimmers are stunning though, like that blue shade, Catastrophe, brilliant. I love that they're all like cat shade names, like it's so cute. Catastrophe is like the shade that I want, but I'm pretty sure I have a shade like that in my Cleona. I think it's called CL? Sorry, I'm not French. This shade right here. I feel like that's like similar kind of vibes. This is probably a bit more like cyan than that shade, but like, you know, I don't think I need it. I don't think I need it. I think I'm just more in love with the theme and also the fact that it's, again, Valentine's Day themed and love. Like, it's cute. It's really sweet. It's very unique. Very cool colour story, but not something that I need. However, I think Glisten Cosmetics are doing a part 2 to their, like, Dewdrops palette, which I want that Dewdrops palette so bad. Do I need more iridescence? No. However, I want that palette and I want the part 2. Haven't seen the part 2. Monica has sneak peeked it a couple of times on Instagram, and I want it now. I will, if she does a bundle with them two, I will buy it. A couple of Fantasy Cosmetica palettes. I like Fantasy Cosmetica's formula quite a lot. I love that they're themed around like D&D, and I've only recently started playing D&D and it's really fun, and also I love Baldur's Gate 3, brilliant game. Anything fantasy in that sort of realm, big fan. And I do love the concepts and the colour stories of all of Fantasy Cosmetica's palettes. Not all of them speak to me personally. This one tugs at my heart. I believe this is called the Ranger palette or the Hunter. I think it's called the Ranger palette. Ranger sounds more more correct. It's got the greens. It's got the rusty oranges. It's got really cunty shimmers. Like, this is what I love in a, like, if it looks like a pumpkin patch in a palette, I'm there. I mean, obviously this look is very opposite of pumpkin patch, but I'm there. I'm there. These colours work so lovely with like my hair colour, like my undertone, like they just feel like me. They just feel like Skye. The only way this could be more Skye is if it had a bright yellow in it, but I know that wouldn't really fit the colour story. But yeah, this is stunning. However, again, I feel like I could dupe this out, but I love Fantasy Cosmetica's new, like, kind of stained glass looking packaging. Like, I have a few of their palettes, like a couple of their palettes in their old packaging, and I really want to repurchase them in the, like, new packaging, because also the pans are magnetized. I'm not rebuying palettes that I already own. That's just silly. But if I did buy, like, this Fantasy Cosmetica palette, I would then feel the need, oh, well, they don't match. They don't match, so I need to buy the other ones. So if anything, me not buying this is saving me more money, because if I bought this palette, I'd have to buy the Druid and the Sorcerer palette again. The other Fantasy Cosmetica palette, I actually don't remember the name of this one. It's this one right here. Let me find the name of it, because it's very stunning. I type in Fantasy Cosmetica, and the first, like, recommended sponsored post is Natasha Denona Retro Glam. Girl, what in the dusty ass palette is that? The Harvest of Souls palette. It's very slay. Like, I don't think I really need to discuss why I really like it. It's giving, like, Lunar Beauty Moonspell, but, like, way better. Obviously, I way prefer the Lunar Beauty Moonspell packaging. That packaging has just a special place in my heart. But this colour story is, like, a yassified version of that. And I do love that you can buy a lot of Fantasy Cosmetics eyeshadows in single form. I'm pretty sure all of the shimmers you can buy in single form. But yeah, it's grungy, it's dark, it's mysterious, it's very Warlock-esque. I know they have a Warlock palette, but this feels like it would just be a lovely complement to that one. And it's Halloween in a palette. It's pretty much like the purple side of Halloween. But that being said, I don't wear purples enough. Like, I know there's not that many purples in here, but like, this entire palette is very dark leaning, and I like to have a bit of variance with my like eyeshadow palettes. Like, I like having a mix of midtones and dark shades. Light shades I'm not too bothered by, I can just use loose powder. But yeah, I think I would definitely get a couple of these singles, because like that bright green, I think it's called Obsession. As a person with OCD, that's a bit odd name. I'm joking. I'm not actually offended by that. But I'm just like, it's just funny that the shade that I gravitate towards is called Obsession. Of course. And it's green. I love that shade. I love that shade, and the shade Poison next to it. I'm just a big fan of like surge greens. That's my shit. I guess continuing the theme with palettes from the same brand, we've got Glisten Cosmetics. Now, the first palette, I believe it's called the Burnt Forest palette. This palette I've actually duped, like, within my own collection. I don't have any pictures of the swatches, because I think I remember doing them at, like, 10 o'clock at night before bed when I couldn't sleep. And I duped it with my collection, and I realised I literally own this palette just in a bunch of other palettes and singles. But this colour story is just so pretty. Like, you can't deny that it is stunning. Glisten Cosmetics are a brand that I've been super curious to try, and this palette just screams a bit of me. And thing is though, I do say that I love this palette and I basically already owned it. However, I did do a naughty, and I did purchase the new Terra Moons palette, the Morbius palette. It's not called the Morbius palette. I just don't know how to pronounce this. Ophiuchus is how it's pronounced according to Google. However, that sounds too close to mucus, so I'm calling it the Orpheus palette, or the Morbius palette. I have purchased this one. It's now in my hands, and this is the same, not the same vibes, but like the similar grungy green, like warm energy as Burnt Forest. But I think I felt more excited to try the Terra Moons palette because I love Terra Moons' formula. Like, I know for a fact that I love their formula and they're reliable. And then the other Glisten Cosmetics palettes that I'm just like, fucking hell, are the Secret Garden 1 and 2 palettes. I believe the Secret Garden 1 is the palette like on top in this picture, which in my opinion would be the palette that I would get because again, it's the warm tones, it's like some pinks, yellows, greens. These are my favourite colours to wear. Secret Garden 2 with like the pinks, the blues, and like more cranberry purples. I do like those colours too, but like the Secret Garden 1 palette speaks to me a lot more, and it's stunning. I feel like this, I know I said this is a video of makeup I want but I'm not gonna buy, but out of all the things in this video, I think that's the thing that I'm like, I want that the most though. The Secret Garden 1 palette, it just looks so pretty. And a bunch of my friends have like stood by that Glisten Cosmetics are like fantastic with their formulas. So I would love to try it. And yes, do I have those colours already? Probably. But I probably don't have them as much as the Burnt Forest palette colour story, because not just the like Morbius palette that I've got, I have a lot of palettes that are that grungy, like caca colour story. As I said that, I realised that I need to go to the toilet, I need to take a shit. I am going to clench it for the rest of this video. They don't know that I am secretly hiding the most diabolical bombshell of a shit while I'm filming a video. As much as I like short form content, like, I feel like I can't be my fucking stupid self in short form. Like, it just doesn't, I feel like I have to put it on but it just flows with long form, man. Speaking with this kind of grungy colour story, this palette I literally almost bought, but then the shipping from Unearthly's website completely annulled any desire to get it, because Unearthly Cosmetics' shipping is actually diabolical. It's criminal, at least when I checked. So this is the Sorceress Smoke palette. This is my version of a neutral palette, and I very nearly bought this palette. However, I nearly bought this palette right before, because I believe this palette was released before Glaminatrix Barely Basic, and they've sent Barely Basic to me in PR. In Barely Basic, like, the same energy as Sorceress Smoke. Like, I feel like there's some similarities here. And again, why would I buy a palette that I essentially already own in, like, the same kind of format? Like, all of these colours I'm pretty sure are in this palette, save a couple of exceptions. But when I saw this palette, I was literally just like, that is my perfect neutral palette. That's one of my perfect neutral palettes. However, how many perfect neutral palettes do I need? I think I've got like 4. I don't need 5. But I just love for every shimmer there's a matte, like, counterpart. Like, that's just very satisfying to me. And this picture is just incredibly appealing to me. Like, I'm like foaming at the mouth. It's fucking stunning. And every time I see, like, my friends, like, do, like, a grungy, like sort of grungy, like, swamp ass look, I, like, scroll down because I'm like, what the fuck are you using? Because I need that. And it's usually Sorceress Smoke. But yeah, I very nearly almost purchased it, and then I looked at the shipping, and the shipping from Unearthly's website to the UK, because I'm pretty sure they include customs as well. Regardless, it was like 50 quid, and I was like, bitch, that's nearly the price of the palette, and the palette ain't cheap. So I was just like, I'm not spending like £100, probably more than £100 on an eyeshadow palette. Like, I can't do it. Maximum that I'll pay for shipping is £25, and even then I cringe so fucking hard, but I do know that a lot of, like, shipping nowadays is extremely expensive, the world is extremely expensive, so, like, I kind of expect that from, like, US-based brands that, like, okay, the shipping will probably be, like, 25 quid, maybe 27 at a push. Anything higher than that, I simply cannot do. No. The penultimate palette that I would like to discuss, and also this has the same sort of, like, reasoning for why I'm not going to be purchasing it, is the Bella Beauté Bar Secret Garden palette. Now, Bella Beauté Bar has been a brand that I've had my eye on for a while. I think I've mentioned a couple of their palettes in these videos, because they have the Pastel Garden palette, which is just a really big pastel palette, and I love pastels, but I do remember in that video saying that it's just too big. Like, most of their palettes, as gorgeous as they are too big for me. There is such thing as size, there's too much. There is too much. Like, you can have enough of a good thing. As a short king myself, like, that's just too big and too overwhelming. That being said, is my boyfriend 6'7"? Yes. And that was something that I had to come to terms with. Complete side tangent, the Secret Garden palette. This is, again, the grungy green. The grungy greens, and I really love the pop of red in here, like the red flowers, the shimmers in here. I think there's like some marbly shades. That light green shade in the very middle of the palette, that beautiful sage green. Like, that's caught my heart real deep. As soon as I saw this palette, and my friends were like making content with it on Instagram, I was just like, I'm mesmerized. This is just stunning. However, Bella Beauté Bar's shipping is again kind of criminal. I do know that Bella Beauté Bar and Unearthly Cosmetics, they're also sold on Monolith, which is like a European-based indie makeup, like, hub. But a lot of the time, the stuff that I want on Monolith is always fucking sold out. So it's like, okay. And even then, Monolith shipping isn't as... I mean, it's definitely cheaper than ordering it directly from the brand, but I think they have to hike up the price a little bit so they get, like, a bit of a cut. I could be making this shit up. I haven't actually looked at Monolith in a while, so maybe just completely ignore me from what I'm saying. But yeah, I do know that that is an option, but the indie brand's direct website will obviously have more stock and more likely to be in stock, and their shipping is also kind of diabolical, so I've just not I've just not done it. I could do like a group order with some of my UK friends, just to split the shipping costs. However, I look at it and I'm like, that is absolutely stunning, but do I want it enough to go to that length for it? I don't think so. Like, I look at this palette and I'm like, wow, it's stunning, and then after, like, a couple weeks, I literally forgot it existed. Which is bad, because I remember, like, even collating the photos for this video, I was like, ooh, I swear there was that one Bella Beauté bar palette. I completely forgot what it looked like, but I remember being infatuated by it. And that's obviously, like, a sign that I just don't need it. Like, I don't need to buy it. Like, if I literally forgot what the palette was called and forgot, like, what it looked like, no. Okay, and the final palette we're going to be discussing is actually from a UK-based indie brand, and I really want to try this brand, not just because they're UK-based, but also because they're UK-based, because there's not many UK-based indie brands out there. And this palette is arguably my favourite palette that they have done, and it is the Lovers palette. I didn't even say the name of the brand, Cosmic Brushes. I'm not gonna lie, the name Cosmic Brushes kind of not weirds me out, but like, when I hear Cosmic Brushes, I'm just like, okay, you only sell brushes. So it kind of like boxes them in a little bit. They probably did brushes in the beginning and now they've expanded their product range. But like, to me, I'm just like, just call yourself like Cosmic Cosmetics. That's a bit of a tongue twister though. I don't know, Cosmic Brushes. At least it's kind of memorable, but I don't know, my brain is kind of like, you're called brushes, but you sell other things than brushes. Anyway, that's probably really silly, but that's, again, just how my thought process works. But this is the Lovers palette, and just look at how absolutely dreamy it looks. Like, I'm pretty sure it's based on the, like, tarot card, The Lovers, which, like, tarot cards have been, like, quite, like, big in pop culture and all that stuff, and me being Wiccan, like, obviously I'm kind of attracted to anything like that, but I feel like a lot of the time they kind of just slap it on and just kind of don't really put care into it, when for me, like, tarot cards are very symbolic and stunning, but this is just very, like, very romantic, very, like, okay, this really encapsulates the energy of the Lovers card to me, and I really like that. The colour story is beautiful. Like, I don't have any notes. Like, it's truly pretty phenomenal. However, this palette reminds me quite a bit of the Glaminatrix Sandra Rose palette, and I have that palette but not in my collection. I have it for collector's sake, but I don't actually use it anymore. And that's the reason why I decluttered it, is because I love the colour story, I just didn't use it for some reason, and I don't know why. Like, I fear that, like, if I bought this palette, it would be one of those palettes where, like, aesthetically, I would open it, I would swatch it, I would be like, this is beautiful, and I'd wear it and be like, yeah, this is really nice, but it wouldn't be one that I would think to reach for, you know? And again, circling back to what I said earlier about not giving palettes the love that they deserve, and how that fills me with such immense guilt that I can't even fathom. I just don't want to do that to this palette, but I have seen so many of my friends use it, and I'm just like, man, it is beautiful. Cosmic Brushes have a lot of other palettes that, like, they don't really speak to me, but this one really does, so I'm just like, I don't know. It really catches my heart. This and the Glisten Cosmetics Secret Garden palette, I'm just like, I'm really... They kind of get me with that. Anyways, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Do let me know, what are some makeup products that you want but aren't gonna buy? I love this series. I think this is like my longest running series on my channel. I have a whole playlist dedicated to it if you want to see my super old, like, when I was filming on my literal phone, about it. Oh, Molly's jumped off. Molly! I don't know if you can see Molly. Molly! Just ignore how chaotic this office is. We are kind of in the process of switching things about. But yeah, I love this series, and I feel like it's a series that I'll continue on, because it's my version of, like, commenting on makeup releases, but I don't really like doing new makeup releases videos, because honestly, half the time, I have no thoughts. I'm just like, yeah, that exists. So it is nice to have this sort of format, and I feel like it really works for me. Yeah, I love talking about makeup products. I love talking about stuff. Anyway, I am literally the world's biggest yapper, so if you'd like to see more makeup content from me, you can follow me on my Instagram. It's faerie.skye right here. I post all my looks there and I'm active on there every single day. This look probably will be posted before this video, but this is one of my Pride makeup looks, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you here. And as always, stay safe, wash your hands, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!